Hey guys, Jason here. This is going to be a quick video, not because there's not a lot to talk about, but because there's so much riding on US trade talks that are happening right now as this video is being recorded, and that is really going to dictate what's going to happen here in both the general market and for gold. And what makes this even more important is that the fact that this is happening right at this hinge point moment. So we're seeing a lot of consolidation and tightening range here on the weekly time frame. We're seeing that on the daily reflected in the 4-hour descending wedge pattern, and there's our pattern itself. So yesterday we left off with our bear flag setup. So we saw this big bear flag, a big drop down. In that video I had noted that it was getting a little bit extended for me and it didn't feel quite right. So I said that if we went any further, I would start looking at this as a failed bear flag and not really playing it as such. And I don't know exactly what candlestick we were on when I had mentioned that, but obviously we got a break to the upside. It projected from an EMA 12, which was at, let's see, about 1282.445. And then we saw a red candle that followed, and then a little bit of a flush. That flush did not break the low of our initial drop. So that didn't give that bear flag a second chance, so to speak. We didn't break that 15-minute support. Instead, we set a higher low on the 15-minute time frame, and we have just been sort of going sideways since then. So everything comes down to what happens in the 4-hour pattern with relation to trade talks. So if there's no deal reached, it's likely that overall market futures will drop, which will probably see an inverse reaction in gold, which means we will break out of this 4-hour descending wedge to the upside and we'll have a rally, in which case I would start to look for a slowdown probably around 1326. That's been a historical resistance support for us before, and we can see right at the peak of this guy 1324 hitting that area of resistance. So I would be looking for something around there as a profit target if we get a nice solid breakout of this 4-hour descending wedge. If there is positive trade talks and a deal is reached and the market is happy, I believe we will just continue down inside this pattern until we get a technical break, which may not have as much of an impact if it does break to the upside. But we'll have to see how that goes. So yeah, right now, everything all comes down to what's going on in the US trade talks, and it's a wait and see moment. Now, if you're not even paying attention to the news and you did not know what was going on, it's still a no-go for a trade right now. We are too close to the top of our descending wedge resistance line. We don't want to be entering a long position because it's more likely than not that we will pull back, and we want to wait and see what's happening. You're not going to enter a very high risk, high reward situation when we can wait just a little bit longer, get a confirmed breakout, and then get in a long position of the back test of that trend line. That is it for today. I hope within the next 24 hours we have a better idea what's going to happen with our futures, because you and I and everyone else are always going to be influenced by these sort of decisions that these policymakers make. And if you make a living in the market like I do, it can add some turbulence to your day-to-day life. That's it, guys. Have a fantastic night.